local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise starts now.
First on WESH 2 News Sunrise, freeze warnings are in effect for 5 Central Florida counties as we wake up to temperatures in the 20s and the 30s. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Here's a live look at 6 o'clock outside at downtown Ocala, where it is currently 25 degrees. But it feels even colder. Marion County's freeze warning is in place for several hours until 9 o'clock this morning. We have team coverage with WESH 2's Spencer Tracy braving the cold in Lake County, learning how farmers protect their crops. But first, we want to begin with first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. Eric, this is the coldest.
Yeah, I mean, it's 5 or so degrees colder than yesterday, as a matter of fact. Take a look at the temperatures right now. 24 degrees in Ocala, 30 in the Villages, 37 in Orlando, and even along the Space Coast, it's 39. That 24 in Ocala moments ago had a feels-like temperature of 18. Now the winds have gone calm, so there's no wind chill factor anymore. But with the wind chill in Orlando, it feels like 30, 29 in DeLand, and 28 degrees in the Villages. So it's absolutely bundle up weather. And yeah, those freeze warnings in effect basically go without saying because their temperatures are hanging around or even below freezing this morning. So it's a very, very chilly start to the day. Checking out the Orlando International Airport area, if winds continue to go calm, may have to watch for frost. And frost could play impact on departures. So just one of those things. I do believe there's one de-icing truck at OIA. Don't quote me on it. But at any rate, it's a cold, cold start. That's why these panels are highlighted in red, to make sure you know this is truly, truly the coldest day of the season. Then afterward, we clear out. It's going to be gorgeous. 44 degrees, 9 a.m., 59 by lunchtime, and into the 60s by 3 o'clock. We'll talk much more about your neighborhood by neighborhood forecast for today and look ahead to the rest of the weekend when we see you in just a couple minutes.
All right, Eric, whenever we have temperatures as low as this and those freeze warnings in place, it's suggested you protect people, pipes, pets, and of course your plants. That's what farmers around Central Florida are trying to do right now. WESH 2's Spencer Tracy joins us live at Southern Hill Farms in Claremont. Spencer, the farm had to cut back on days it opened this week because of the weather and the crops available.
Yeah, that's right. So they're only open this weekend. I'm with the owner, David Hill. Well, David, thank you so much. All right, stay with us. We're going to show you the strawberries coming up at 7. We got the sunflowers. That's another staple here at Southern Hill Farms. So stay with us. I'm covering Lake County live in Claremont. Spencer Tracy, WESH 2 News.
All right, Spencer, stay warm. You can find WESH 2's certified most accurate forecast 24/7 by going to WESH.com or through our free mobile app. And be sure to turn on those notifications so you can find out when a warm-up is on the way. It is 6:05 on your Saturday morning. Devastating news. A 5- and 10-year-old are dead, and their mother is seriously hurt after they got trapped in a fire inside of their Palm Bay condo. Crews responded to the Country Gardens condos on Sunnybrook Lane just before 1 o'clock yesterday morning. They say a 15-year-old in that house managed to get out safely and call 911.
I know that the teenage son, I was told he jumped out the window, and that's how he got out. So physically he's okay, but emotionally he is wrecked. So just a horrible, horrible circumstance.
It's unclear how the fire started. The state fire marshal is investigating. The Red Cross is providing emergency assistance to everyone affected. A Brevard County elementary principal and teacher are accused of putting children's lives in danger. Cocoa Beach police say the principal had a house party with alcohol and more than 100 underage kids. As WESH 2's Gail Pascal Brown tells us, investigators say one child was so drunk, medic responded to treat them. Elizabeth Hill Brodigan is being held on a $3,500 bond. Carly Anderson is being held on a $3,000 bond. She's set to appear before a judge this morning at 9 o'clock. The FDLE is leading the investigation into what happened before a state trooper shot and killed someone at HCA Hospital in Marion County. Ocala police say the suspect was in custody at the time and the trooper shot them during a fight. No one else was hurt. Investigators did not ID the person killed, why they were in custody, or what led up to this fight. 6:08 now. A popular bar in Orlando's Ivanhoe Village neighborhood will close for good today after more than a decade. Owners of the Hammered Lamb say despite all of their efforts to raise money and try to stay open, construction slowed down business just too much. WESH 2's Tony Atkins shows us how this bar's story is leading to change. And Senator Smith says he hopes this proposed bill will have the support it needs by the time the regular legislative session starts in March. We'll keep you posted there. It is just about 6:11 on this severe weather warning day. Let's bring in first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. You're calling it that because this is by far the coldest air we've seen this winter.
I just had to triple check this, Christina. All right, so this is the list. It's like a tally board. All right, so far today's low temperatures on the left, on the right, the coldest of the season. 23 degrees in Ocala. I checked. We hit for 5 minutes, 23 degrees.
Wow.
Actual air temperature.
Not feels like.
No, feels like has been in the teens there, but actual air temperature. So it has been bitterly cold. And for many of the rest of our area, including Orlando, this has been the coldest start of the season. The good news is with clear skies, we'll rebound beautifully to the lower 60s today. We'll talk more about your full weekend and a bit of a change when we see you in just a couple of minutes.
Negotiations are underway about the undeveloped land at Orlando Sanford International Airport. Several years ago, the Sanford Airport Authority Board made it a priority to market hundreds of acres to companies with a goal of bringing jobs and tax dollars to this part of Seminole County. So far, 18 companies showed interest. The authority narrowed it down to half a dozen.
Any good local economy, you do not want the residents to pay all the taxes. You want commercial, you want to be diversified.
How great would this be for Seminole County?
It would be absolutely fantastic to use that property to its maximum and best use, to create employment for the local community and create something that can actually expand the value of our airport as well.
The airport says the companies are interested in doing everything from aircraft maintenance to building hotels. County leaders haven't made any decisions, but they say they're thrilled about the possibility of raising the value of the airport and the county. At 6:15 now, Walt Disney World announced Muppet Vision 3D will officially close on June 7th to make way for the new monster attraction. The Grand Avenue area a phased closing in May, and when it's all said and done, Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, and more of their friends will move over to Sunset Boulevard to take over Rock and Roller Coaster. So not completely gone, just a new chapter. Meantime, Legoland Florida plans to bring 20 new themed rooms to its hotel. You're looking at pictures of what will look like. It comes as the resort confirms, quote, operational changes to help out with the guest experience. Legoland confirmed to WESH 2 it's laying off people from its entertainment team and said it was a difficult decision. They said the changes will allow the resort to operate more flexibly and responsively in a competitive market. Over at SeaWorld Orlando, it's a special weekend just for kids. This event held in Sesame Street Land includes the fun Sesame Street Parade. There's also a meet and greet. Then as you look ahead to February 3rd, SeaWorld Orlando will celebrate Elmo's birthday. Both events are included in park admission. This morning, if you are interested in learning more about a potential job in law enforcement, the Orlando Police Department is holding a community career fair. You can come learn about sworn and civilian positions while meeting with representatives from multiple fields. That career fair starts at 10 o'clock this morning. Just go to OPD headquarters on South Street. That'll be a good time. 6:17, good to do that inside as we navigate these bitter cold temperatures. We see this icon behind us. What does that mean?
Yeah, so when you see this on our weather graphics, it's just to let you know, I mean, there's something particularly rough happening, all right? It happens sometimes during severe weather. Could be thunderstorms. In this case, coldest air of the season by far and away in many of our locations. And if you're not dressed properly when you step out the door, I mean, this is going to be a problem. I know it's January. Everybody's going to tease and say, well, I know to wear the jacket. Y'all, I walked around Lake Yola. There are some people that looked like they were very unpleasant. So just know that. Look outside, okay? Right now, it's 31 in McIntosh, 23 in Reddick. Ocala, The airport, the official reporting station, dropped to 23 just a couple of moments ago. So this is very, very cold. 28 in Fort McCoy, 30 degrees in Lake Weir. We get these temperatures updated every 5 minutes. So we've got the live stuff, right? 37 in Sanford, right on Lake Monroe, 39 at the airport. That's the official reporting station. 39 in Oviedo, 34 Altamont Springs. Upper 20s here for DeLeon Springs and Astor. They're more rural, right? When you get into more kind of concrete urban environment, it's 35 in DeLand, 35 degrees here in Victoria Gardens, and 41 over at the Ponce Inlet. So it's 20s, actual air temperatures, mind you, 30s and 40s. Wind chill has been lower. Ocala's wind chill for a moment was at 18. All right, so this is the kind of air we're dealing with this morning. Clear skies, kind of a prime environment for a very cold start. But the good news is, with a bit of an easterly component to our winds, the temperatures are going to climb a little bit today. 63 in Hunters Creek, Christmas, 62 degrees back over to Maitland, 61 today in DeLand, 60 Daytona Beach, Edgewater, upper 50s for Holly Hill, Ormond Beach, Painters Hill, and Corona. About 59 in Reddick today, 60 Ocala, and into the lower 60s as well. Mount Dora, Astatula, Claremont, mid-60s Osceola, and low to mid-60s back over to Brevard County. So it is a cold morning. That's why today is highlighted in red. Once we hit 9 a.m., that's done and over with. It's smooth sailing up to about 63. For tomorrow, a cool morning, not as cold, but look at that afternoon, 68 degrees. And then looking ahead to next week, oh yeah, Florida rolling right back to beautiful sunshine and comfy temps. And as a matter of fact, looking all the way ahead to the first couple of days of February, things look to trend in that warmer direction as well. So the roller coaster ride really has begun. This morning, rock bottom, 37 or so in Orlando. By Thursday afternoon, will be to 76. And it's partially because this area of high pressure basically is blocking the next few cold fronts from sneaking in. So we've got the 70s around the next couple of days, and it's going to continue, we think, for the next couple of weeks. Beautiful, beautiful sunshine. But for now, the big story absolutely is the chill this morning. So you're going to want to have layers if you're stepping out the door, and really long sleeves will be good for the entirety of the day. That's exactly what my plan is. For you and your family, do that. But remember, if you're heading out to the Rolex or any of the other events around Central Florida, you still need the sunscreen because temperature and sunburns don't correlate whatsoever. We'll keep an eye on this and, of course, keep you updated throughout the morning.
As the Spring Manatee Festival kicks off this weekend, those manatees there are doing everything they can to stay warm in Volusia County. This is the view from Chopper 2. Look at all of them. The park says they spotted more than 550 manatees yesterday, and they say it's been difficult to keep count because of the windy conditions. I know those manatees are looking forward to the warm-up. At 6:21, still ahead this morning on Sunrise, taking a piece of space history home. How a Florida couple says they managed to find parts of the Starship while on vacation. Plus, this morning, the court hearing for the man accused of driving drunk and hitting and killing a 6-year-old boy in Orange County. What we know about his condition right after the crash.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise starts now.
Now at 6:30 on Sunrise, freeze warnings are in effect in Central Florida as we wake up to beautiful skies, but also the coldest temperatures of the season. Here's a live look outside from Marion, Orange, Lake, and Volusia counties, where it feels like we are in the 30s, even the 20s. We have team coverage this morning. First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris is, of course, tracking those cold weather advisories, and WESH 2 Spencer Tracy is in Lake County monitoring how farmers are keeping their crops safe. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Christina Watkins. It is January 25th, and it's a severe weather warning day, and that is because of the risks we could potentially see from this bitter cold. Let's bring in First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. Eric, we know one of the biggest concerns this morning has been the wind chill, making those temperatures feel even colder.
Well, and I'll tell you, the one place that I'm really thankful things have figured themselves out is Ocala. Your wind chill's 24 right now because there is no wind. It was 18 just a little bit ago, and then the winds calmed down. But look at the wind chills elsewhere. Feels like 28 in the Villages and Wildwood. Feels like 30 here in Leesburg and Orlando. Feels like 25 in Claremont. There's the difference, right? No wind in Ocala, whereas we're at a 5-10 mile per hour breeze through the metro. So that's adding a bite. Actual temperature, 24 in Ocala, 35 in Leesburg, 37 in Orlando, 37 Daytona Beach, and 39 in Melbourne. And it's that why we have freeze warnings in effect for essentially all of our communities north of the metro. So this is a very cold start to the day. It's beautiful, and once the sun comes out, the good news is things will rebound in a wonderful direction. So jackets on for sure this morning. You could even put those silly little sweaters on the dog when you take them out for a walk. But look where we go later on, 50s and 60s. And that adjustment is thanks to that easterly component of the wind. And that continues to impact us right through next week. Big changes. Central Florida's certified most accurate forecast in a couple minutes.
My dog loves her silly little sweater. At 6:31, with those freeze warnings in place for most of Central Florida, farmers are doing whatever they can to take care of those coveted crops. WESH 2's Spencer Tracy is at Southern Hill Farms in Claremont. Spencer, we know it is so important they keep their plants safe from the cold, especially their strawberries.
I know those strawberries are very important. I don't know if you can hear it, but those sprinklers are on because we need them during these temperatures. I'm with David Hill, the owner here. All right, well, we'll show you some of that ice. Stay with us at 7. When the sun comes up, we'll get a better picture. We'll show you some sunflowers. We can't forget those. And we'll check in to see how those are doing as well. But one last check on these. We can really see that ice. Wow. Crazy. Let me get that piece with my glove. There we go. There we go. We got ice out here, guys. You were right. All right, I'll toss it back to you guys. Covering Lake County, live in Claremont, Spencer Tracy, WESH 2 News.
All right, the sprinklers doing what they're supposed to do to protect those plants. Download our WESH 2 News mobile app to track the freeze warnings and the cold weather advisories in your neighborhood. Plus, turn on the alert so you can be the first to know when a warm-up is on the way. At 6:34 now, Orange County Public Schools is supporting the family of one of its youngest students through a memorial fund. The 6-year-old died in a suspected drunk driving crash in Apopka. A judge just ruled that man behind the wheel will stay in jail on no bond. Florida Highway Patrol says the 6-year-old was riding his bike when Francisco Ariola drove through a stop sign on West Tahoe Street last weekend. These two FHP corporals testified yesterday in court about what they saw.
Based on all of your observations up to that point, did you believe that the defendant was impaired by alcohol?
Yes, sir. Based off of my training and experience, he was under the influence at the time.
Court records show this is the 3rd time Ariola has been charged for a DUI in the last 10 years. He was actually out on probation on that charge. We also learned he's undocumented. WESH 2 Investigates continues to uncover more details in the nearly 50-year-old case against convicted murderer Tommy Ziegler. WESH 2's Greg Fox looks at newly filed evidence and speaks exclusively with Ziegler's cousin, who says he's innocent. We reached out to Orange Osceola State Attorney Monique Worrell's office. They did not comment on the newly filed evidence. Also, no hearing date has been set. 3 Orlando police officers are out of a job this morning and under criminal investigation after being accused of changing their time cards to try and steal money. OPD says the department supervisor found issues in the payroll as officers received extra duty payments. The Orlando Police Department says it is going over its time card policies. They also added new technology to hopefully stop something like this from happening again. At 6:39, it was a close vote. The Senate confirmed Pete Hegseth as the new United States Defense Secretary. The initial vote was split right down the middle, with 3 Republicans voting no. That tie-breaking vote came from Vice President J.D. Vance. This is only the 2nd time in history a vice president broke a tie for a cabinet nominee. Back here at home in Central Florida, as President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown continues, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office says it's dedicating deputies to help ICE in deporting undocumented immigrants. Sheriff Marco Lopez says Central Florida has more than 100,000 deportation warrants.
So that is very concerning, especially here in Central Florida. And I'm not saying that they all come here to break the law, but we got to remember that this country is of law, and if you're going to come here, you need to do it the right way.
Sheriff Lopez says deputies will handle these cases with compassion. Earlier this week, the Department of Homeland Security said immigration agents can arrest anyone who is undocumented, even if they're in protected places like a house of worship, school, or a hospital. At 6:40 on this first weather warning day, let's bring back in first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. We are feeling like the 20s and 30s across most of Central Florida, but I'm looking at this afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then tomorrow a little bit more. And then each day thereafter, we're getting back to our normal, at least this time. We've been below average for a good chunk of time. Yeah, so 37 in the metro out the door. Coldest morning we've had yet this season. We did drop earlier to 23 in Ocala. We're now at about 27, so at least there's that. So winter coats. Long story short, out the door this morning. Keeping the long sleeves later, but you don't necessarily need to be bundled all up, because as this area of high pressure is moving to the east, it's going to turn our winds in off the ocean, and that brings in a few clouds. Not a big deal, but it raises the humidity, and that will help to raise the temperatures. So lunchtime, we get to 59. By 3 o'clock this afternoon, 63. The 70s right around the corner. Central Florida's most accurate forecast, talking about the change in a couple minutes.
Be a beautiful day, Eric, thanks. Next on Sunrise, ready for liftoff. Another batch of Starlink satellites will soon be in orbit when you can watch a Falcon 9 rocket take them to space. Plus, an out-of-this-world souvenir for a Florida couple on vacation. How one woman says she managed to get their hands on a piece of the Starship spacecraft.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Rubenstein Law. Injured? Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
This is so cool. All new this morning, a South Florida couple says they found a piece of the SpaceX Starship rocket that exploded last week, and they found it while vacationing in Turks and Caicos. Joe Rote spoke to the woman who says she watched all of these pieces fall out of the sky. Wow, the couple says people tried to buy the pieces when she posted about it on social media, but they say they're going to keep them, at least for now. NASA is giving $24 million to 9 companies as part of the Artemis campaign. Those companies will work to come up with innovative strategies and concepts to support life on the moon. The contracts aim to develop capabilities for long-term lunar exploration. And looking ahead on our Space Coast, SpaceX plans to send another batch of Starlink satellites into orbit on Monday. The Falcon 9 rocket carrying the Starlink 12-7 mission is set to blast off from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The launch window opens Monday afternoon at 2:21. All right, at 6:47 on your Saturday morning, it is a busy day in Seminole County as hundreds of Seminole County students will be at the airport. What's going on?
Thousands. This place gets packed.
It does.
It's so great. So Seminole County students are invited with their families down to the Orlando Sanford International Airport for the Aviation and Aerospace Day.
Nice.
Folks from NASA, Blue Origin, the local colleges. It really is all about kind of sparking that little bit. And
Chopper 2.
Chopper 2 will be there available for tours. I flew in with her yesterday, and I'll be emceeing and kind of hosting these panel discussions. It's going to be a lot of fun. Temperature's going to be a little chilly, but at least it rebounds nicely. Gates open up at 9 a.m., and the event goes until 2 o'clock today. So if you're heading on out that direction, come by and say hi. It'll be a lot of fun. Temperatures right now just downright cold. 39 in downtown. It's 38 degrees Avalon Park. We're at 38 over in Hunters Creek, 41 on I Drive, but 34 in Rock Springs. A little more rural, so it makes sense. You're going to be a little colder. 34 in Mims, 41 in Viera, 48 degrees Patrick Space Force Base. Look around Lake County. 39 Lake Louisa, it's 37 in Mount Dora, 28 degrees Lady Lake, and 29 on the Villages, at least across Lake County side. Now elsewhere, we've seen temperatures dropping even further. It's 26 now in Ocala. You were down to 23 degrees a little bit ago, so it was very cold. Factor in the winds, feels like 30 in Orlando, feels like 24 in Ocala, and feels like 29 out here around Bithlo and Wedgefield. So to answer the question of, because I'm going to get it, is this the coldest we've seen of the season? For most of us, the answer is absolutely. Thus far, we'd only made it down to 38. We're down to 37.5 this morning. Ocala, that 23 that you hit by far and away beats the 28 we saw yesterday morning. So, hey, this is about the coldest point of the day. It's going to be uphill from here, but look at that sunrise. Mwah. How pretty is that, right? It's a Saturday morning, and when you see the day starting like this, you know it's going to be a good one. Here's a look at our 12-hour forecast. Frigid this morning. That's why it's highlighted in red. But through the rest of the day, it's worry-free. It's going to be cold, but it'll be worry-free. 59 by lunchtime, 63 the high temperature in Orlando, 61 in the Villages, 60 degrees here in Ocala. Average high is 72. So we're still below that average. If you're heading over to the Rolex, remember the sunscreen because of all the sunshine. It's going to be a chilly race, but it's going to be chilly, no doubt about it. And to put that into perspective, through yesterday, it is the 7th coldest January on record, with the average high this year being 64.7. It's the coldest since 2010. That year ended up as the 4th coldest January on record. So looking at the forecast, all right, today highlighted in red because of that chilly morning. Once we're done and over with, we'll be done and over with. It'll be just fine. For tomorrow, a cool start, not as cold, and a wonderful finish, 68 our high temperature. Then look what happens. Back to average, above average, warmer than average. It's not beach weather, but hey, that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday features partly cloudy skies and t-shirt and shorts weather for the afternoon. So finally, we'll be able to wash our cold weather gear because we've had to use it so often and bring out our entire rest of our wardrobe.
I love that, Eric. Thanks. It is 6:51 coming up on Sunrise. Some terrifying moments for a Central Florida family when a 61-year-old man had a heart attack. But thankfully, the quick actions by another family member helped save his life.
As you're doing the CPR, what are you thinking?
I was telling myself that, like, not today.
Coming up after the break, we'll show you how Seminole County honored this man as a hero. A Central Florida man is being called a hero after he saved his father-in-law's life. WESH 2's Michelle Meredith was there as Seminole County leaders saluted the man who helped keep his loved one alive. Wow. What a story. Seminole County's fire chief took that opportunity to stress the importance of knowing CPR. There are free classes you can take through the Red Cross. It is 6:56 ahead this morning at 7 o'clock on Sunrise. It is a severe weather warning day. Temperatures feel like the 20s in parts of Central Florida. First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris is coming up at the top of the hour with when we can expect a warm up. Finally, until then, farmers need to protect their plants. WESH 2's Spencer Tracy shows us what one Central Florida farm is doing to keep their coveted crops safe.